It's very simple for me. Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in basketball. Now, what I love about doing a daily show, and really what I love about working with these people, they challenge me. Not just to watch the game like you at home watch the game, but have a notepad out and take specific notes and pay particular attention to detail. I'm going to show you all why the Bucks are the best team in basketball, and it had nothing to do with what occurred during the game. After the game, Bobby Porter Jr., he was getting interviewed. And this moment after the game is what reminded me the Bucks are the best. Not only did they wait for him, but Shady, I'm always waiting to see, are players empowered on their teams? I was like, okay, Giannis didn't play, but he'll break out the huddle. It wasn't Giannis. It was Thanasis. Maybe the 10th player, 11th player off the bench, typically on that team, he broke that team out. Now, why in the world does that matter? Acho, you really gonna tell me that a huddle is gonna tell you who the best team in basketball is? Yes. Because I think teams that have the most players empowered are the teams that do the best. I recall watching the Celtics last year, and I was like, who the heck is this number 11 Pritchard dude who has the confidence to take shots versus KD? Who is this guy? I literally was like, who is this dude? Grant Williams. Who is this dude out here taking threes? You got Tatum on the court. You got Smart on the court.
Okay.
You got Brown on the court. And you have enough confidence, you have enough empowerment to shoot the ball with them dogs out there? Who are these cats? And Pritchard and Williams were a large part that they went all the way to the NBA Finals. So when I'm watching teams, whether it's the team on this desk, the team at your work office, the team in football and basketball, does every player feel empowered to maximize their potential? And when I watch the Bucks, their players feel empowered. That, to me, along with having the best player in basketball, and Giannis, is why I think they are the best team. I'll give y'all one more example of this. Mikal Bridges now plays for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
Y'all realize since he went to the Nets, he has 11 30-point games?
Balling. He is balling. He's balling.
Blown up.
When he was in Phoenix, he had one 30-point game. Same dude. Same exact dude. He ain't get no taller. He ain't get a better handle. He ain't get a better... Same dude.
That's true, yeah.
He went from one 30-point game to 11 of them in less games because he was empowered. The teams that have the most individuals with the most empowerment are typically the best teams. And it just helps that the Bucks also have the best player. That, for me, Slick, is why the Bucks are the best team in basketball, the most empowerment of all the players. What you say?
I'm so glad that you mentioned Peyton Pritchard. Who does he play for?
You talk to me.
Yeah. The Boston Celtics have a lot of that same mentality.
Yes,
you mentioned Grant Williams, you mentioned Peyton Pritchard, and that's why, look, you and I have been on the Bucks bandwagon from the beginning. So,
wait, you on a Bucks bandwagon too?
Oh, in terms of winning it all this year?
Did you know
yes.
that, Joey? I didn't know.
Yes.
Who
did you think?
Well, you also didn't have his number saved, so I'm not surprised.
I've never heard.
Exactly. We talk a lot of about KD
I didn't hear him say anything. Okay, now I know that.
Said,
well, I just knew he was picking somebody whoever came out the East.
The Bucks.
True.
He was picking whoever came out the East.
Yes, and I believe that the Bucks should. And I mean, Shady, honestly, when you and I talk NBA, generally you set the conversation.
Continue.
It's where you want to go.
Let's continue. Go ahead.
So, but
Slick.
The problem is the Bucks, as the best team, they have the best record. All the things that you mentioned, genuine. But there's a problem. Can you be the best team when there's one team out there that you cannot beat? And that's the Boston Celtics for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, if the Philadelphia 76ers knock off the Boston Celtics...
And that might happen.
That's right. Then there's a clear path for the Milwaukee Bucks because the Sixers aren't doing that to the Bucks. It's going to be very much about matchups. But the Celtics have so dominated the Milwaukee Bucks this year, or even going back to last year's playoffs, who won, who knocked them out, right? They have... they're equal defensively in defensive rating. Celtics have a much better offense, right? They've played 3 times this year. 2 of them, absolute blowouts. The one that the Bucks won was in overtime, and that was without Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford. And they won in overtime. So that's where I'm still on the Bucks because I picked them from the beginning, and I believe in those intangibles. But, brother, there's a huge asterisk on that because as long as the Boston Celtics are not in their sphere, I can say the Milwaukee Bucks are the best team in basketball.
Well, yeah, George Taylor.
So that was a very convicted yes.
No, it's a qualifier. I had to qualify.
Beat around the bush.
That's a full cup of qualification right there.
A lot in there. I mean, I'm kind of doing the same thing because I'll say sure, but I'll say if they're healthy. I hear you on the intangibles, but there's other teams that have intangibles. The Celtics have intangibles. True. The Warriors have intangibles. That's kind of it. but that was Sacramento. You know, they're like scrappy the Cinderella.
You might say the Heat have intangibles.
The Heat always have intangibles. It's
their
culture,
organization.
You know, it's culture. But really, it's about if they're healthy. Because and I understand, everyone's banged up this time of year. I get it. But Chris Middleton is an essential part of their success.
True.
And if he is not going to be healthy throughout this playoff run, I'm sorry, I don't see it happening for the Bucks. You need all of your weapons in the postseason. I'm not worried about Giannis. Giannis is going to figure it out. The other guys will eventually get healthy. Grayson Allen's been banged up, Pat Connaughton, but Chris Middleton is very, very concerning. He left the game last night after 8 minutes. He's only played in 33 games. He left with knee soreness. He missed the first 20 games with the wrist, and they've been managing his knee soreness. He is an essential part of their success. He is a big part of their success. And if he is not going to be healthy, as close to 100% as he can be going into the postseason, I'm going to say sure, but there's another where this one actually has stuff in it, but there's some qualifiers.
I was about to say, it went from confidence to less confidence to less confidence. Where are you at? Is it the Bucks' best team now?
No, it's not. It's not. They're not even the best team in the East. Anyway, real quick. Who's the hottest player playing right now, though, when he plays?
Kevin Durant.
Like, what are we talking about? The God. Like, we just jumped over him? Every time he play, they win. Even though it's
Come on, Acho, back up what you did yesterday.
If you want to make some money, you bet on the Suns with Kevin Durant's playing. Can't make this up. The kid is, come on, he's shooting 58% from the field. That's like video game stuff, like dunk. Come on.
And Shady's putting his money where his mouth is.
52% from three? I can't even make this up. First of all, I want to go to the offense, because I know we always talk about Kevin Durant offense, but since he's been playing with the Suns when he plays, they're number one on defense. People forget about that. You can put this guy as the number 1 or the 5 or the 4 or the 3, whatever you want. When I look at the matchups, right? I'm not even trying to like get too crazy or too hype about this, but it's like, are we paying attention to greatness right here? If you already thought that the Suns was a good team, which you already thought they were,
of course,
then you added Kevin Durant with the leadership. Now, on my teams, I'm sorry. The guys that nobody knows, they're not breaking down the team. I don't know who the guy was.
Correct.
And I'm not hating on him.
You're right.
I don't know who he is.
He's right.
On my teams, though, it's going to be dudes like Chris Paul breaking it down.
Of course.
Right? A leader, a Hall of Famer. That's what we need. You're not following this dude. I don't know his name. You're not following him. You following Chris Paul.
Sure.
Yo, I need you to be on time. I need you to just do that. I'm doing it. I got you. The other dudes, I don't know about them.
Sure.
So going to the playoffs, I'm going with the leadership. A guy like Chris Paul. I'm going with the best player playing basketball, Kevin Durant. And I'm going with one of the biggest stars in the game, D Book. Holla at me.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.